Hey guys, what's up? This is Finchy here, and I'm gonna join in on the newest craze sweeping the pyro community. By sweeping I mean I've at least seen two people doing it. First, we had Extreme Pyro 144 join in by making his list of his top 5 favorite fireworks. Then, Brad's dad G joined in and made his list of his top 5 favorite fireworks. And now I'm joining in. I really hope the rest of you guys in the pyro community decide to make your own top 10 lists or top 5 lists for this 4th of July. It seems to be the new craze. Since I've been doing top 10 lists, by the way, you should go check out my most recent one on Finchester Productions, I figured it would be nothing easier to do than to make a top 10 list of my favorite firework demos that I have done. This won't be my favorite fireworks, this will be the favorite fireworks that I have demoed personally. So let's get to the list. Before we get started with this top 10 list, I just want to let you guys know you should totally vote on which firework brand you think is going to be the #1 firework. Is it going to be World Class, Legend, Brothers, or Cannon? Vote now in the top right corner. Alright, so of course we're going to start with number 10. And my number 10 is going to be Air Tactics Artillery Shells by Cannon brand. Just so you guys know, in this top 10 list, I'm factoring in several things. For example, the legality of the firework in most states, the price of the firework, and how dangerous it is. That's why you probably aren't going to see many artillery shells making it to the #1 spot. They cost you an arm and a leg, and they could possibly cost you an arm and a leg. They're rather dangerous. That's the main reason the Air Tactics Artillery Shells made it to the number 10 spot. I knew I had to put some sort of artillery shells on this list or else I'd be getting hate everywhere. So much hate. But I don't think that they should be anywhere higher than number 10, at least not the artillery shells that I've demoed. The classic Fiesta balls, Air Tactics. So Air Tactics makes number 10 because the effects are really good, but also the hindrance is the price. I didn't have any fail in the tube or anything, but you know, the price, it's a little pricey, about 30 bucks for a pack. Let's move on to number 9. And number 9 is going to be the 21 Missile 8-inch by Cannon brand. The only reason this missile made it so far down the list is because the only reason that I seem to be able to get it is by buying that mega assortment, which costs $189. That's pretty darn expensive. I haven't seen this missile specifically sold in stores in its own package. It probably is somewhere, or you could most likely buy it in bulk, but I haven't seen it sold in stores anywhere. Aside from that, the effect is really cool, and I'm sure if you did find it sold separately, it's probably not that expensive, but since I could only find it in assortment, that's why I made it to number 9. Let's go to number 8. And number 8 is going to be the Soaring Diamonds by Legend brand. The Soaring Diamonds were pretty cool, but if you noticed in my demo, I only demoed 3. That's because the first one kind of messed up while it was spinning, and one of the things that makes it spin actually shot out of the diamond and went flying off into some crazy direction like the most dangerous bottle rocket ever. So I just kind of decided not to put that in my demo. I don't want to show my fireworks failing, I just want to show you what they do. So in that demo, 3 of them worked and 1 of them failed. I don't think I ever told you guys that. That's the main reason they're making it into the number 8 spot, is because I actually had 1 fail in my demo. That's not good. They're not too expensive. I think they were like 15 bucks for 4 of them, buy one get one free, 8 bucks. But still, I had 1 fail, and it was actually a kind of dangerous fail, and they're kind of dangerous. I would never do one in the city. They're a little unpredictable. This is why I made it to my number 8 spot. Let's move on to number 7. Number 7 is the Aerial Dynamite 500 gram cake by Brothers brand. This cake was freaking awesome up close and in person. The video doesn't even do it justice. Those fireworks go so high in the air, it's absolutely crazy. And the brakes are absolutely massive on those fireworks. Like I said, the video doesn't even do it justice. The reason it made it pretty far down the list at the number 7 spot is because it's a bit pricey. I think this cake alone cost $80. And we got buy one get one free on it, so 40 bucks, but for 15 shots, it's a little pricey. And in fact, I think if you go back and watch that video, not all 15 shot off. That's why I made it so far down this list. Let's move on to number 6. Number 6, Gushing Smoke World Class brand. Gushing Smoke was really cool. I think even in Brad's dad's video, he even said, don't go for the clay smoke bombs because they only last 5 or 6 seconds. Maybe I can quote that right here.
You know, don't waste your time on, those tiny smoke balls, those like clay ones or whatever that last like 5 or 10 seconds. You know, it's not even worth it.
And that's the exact philosophy I'm coming into these ones with. They last so long. Most of them lasted right around a minute, and they were only $8 for 6 of them. I mean, that's freaking awesome. They were so cheap, and it's like $8, buy one, get one free, $4, and they just last forever. It's something that'll really keep kids entertained, and you could probably actually figure out some cool ways to make those into cool effects for your videos. Let's move on to number 5. Number 5 is going to be the Great Balls of Fire by the Wise Guy brand. The Great Balls of Fire are just kind of like giant crackling balls. You get 3 of them in a pack, and each pack costs like $7 or $8. So buy one, get one free. You get 6 for about $7 or $8. They're huge, they make the coolest noise ever, and you can actually, not that I advise doing this, but you can actually mess around with them and put the stars inside of rockets to make giant crackling effects in the sky. These things are really cool to use. I wouldn't advise doing them in the city, they're a little loud. They're about the equivalent of a couple packs of firecrackers in sound. They're just absolutely awesome. That's why they made it to number 5. The price is decent, and the effect is just crazy. But be careful because they are pretty darn big. And coming in at number 4 is the Long-Stemmed Spray Fountain by Brothers brand. This is probably one of my favorite fountains I ever demoed on this channel. It's so cool. The fountain is just massive and it goes on forever, crackling and sparkling, and I don't even know what the effects are called, but it's really cool. It was only like $20, so buy them going free, you get them for $10 if you get the half price. $20 for 2 of them, so yeah, I mean, this was just a really freaking cool fountain. I would say it's well worth the buy if you're doing an in-the-city show, because 2 or 3 of these can make a really good finale for an in-the-city show. Let's move on to number 3. Number 3, Sliders, the Wise Guy brand. I bet you guys didn't see a novelty making it to the number 3 spot. But if you watch my demo of these things, you can just tell how giddy I was to freaking do these. These are some of the coolest things I've ever seen, and I'm so glad my store has them in stock this year. If you guys ever see anything like these sliders, they look like little incense. If you ever see anything like them, give them a try because they're definitely really cool, really interesting. I've never seen a firework like these before. I don't know what it is about them, but you just put them on the ground, grind your foot, slide your foot, and then they start crackling and popping all over the place. And you can hear me in the video, I'm cracking up. I just think it's the best thing ever. You should go check out that video. They're real cheap, like $1 a pack. You know, you get 2 of them for 50 cents a piece. They're just really freaking cool fireworks. Definitely worth the buy. It's a novelty, but it is one of my favorite fireworks I've ever demoed. Number 2, here we come. And number 2 is a 200-gram cake by the name of Evil, world-class brand. This cake is so cool, and I've seen several pyros demo this. As soon as I demoed it, I got a pretty good amount of comments too saying that they loved the Evil cake. It's so cheap too. It's like $8. And it shoots, what is it, like 8 times? And it has the crackling effect, and it's blue. It's just awesome. They're only $8 a piece, so I would advise buying a whole bunch of them and making a really good finale board for a really good price. You can get upwards of 70 or freaking just 80 shots. Impress your people who are watching your show for a really low price. This firework is freaking awesome. The pyro community loves this firework. That's why I made it to my number 2 spot. Let's get on to number 1. Number 1, Heavy Rockets by Legend brand. The Heavy Rockets only come 4 to a pack, and they're about $20 a piece, so buy one, get one free. If you were to go half price, it's $10. It's not a bad price, and the brakes on these things are massive, and they fly like 150 feet in the air. These things are so cool. Everything about them is awesome. They just take off with a gush of flames, and they just keep going and going and going, and then boom! And all the effects that they have is cool, like the glittering willow kind of effect, or the bouquet, and then the crackling. These are just really cool effects, and it's for a really good price. I didn't have any of them fail out of the ones I demoed, so you can see all 4 of them, and they're just really cool. I say do a couple of these during your show, and they will definitely turn some heads. That is why those made it to number 1. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching my top 10 video. If the pyro community would, you guys should really make your own top 10 videos. Join in on the craze. This needs to be a thing. We need top 10 firework videos this year. Join in, make a top 10 video, post it online, share it all around. Make sure you let me know so I can come over and watch it and give my opinion. Alright, this is Finchy, and I hope you enjoyed my top 10 video. Thanks, Brad's dad, for giving me the inspiration. And thanks to Extreme Pyro 144 for giving him the inspiration. This is Finchy, and I'm freaking out.